Ask a question.
Diana, how did you become involved in the
really filming this?
Monster Carnival?
Yes, I am.
Well, how did I become involved? I have this really, I can't think of the word, extravagant, exotic, eclectic friend named Art Sunday. And he asked me if I wanted to support this fabulous Monster Carnival. And I said, of course. And that's how I got involved.
Cool.
That isn't the artist, is it?
Where?
Are you the guy that draws?
I'm one of the artists, yeah.
Yeah, you used to draw with the cartoon characters. And
Yeah, the movie stuff and everything like that, yeah.
okay,
I used to do it
I
here.
remember, yeah.
I'm here with my stuff here for the week. It's gonna be on the shop digger right there. And we got a show this Saturday coming up.
I never forget a face.
Yeah, no, that's a good thing. I don't know people's name, but I know their faces once I see them and stuff.
Danny or Daniel, because that's what my name is.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, I wanted to ask this gentleman real quickly. Red shirt.
Red shirt, man.
Is there anything I can do for you down there for $1.25? Is there anything I can do for you down there for $1.25? Is there anything I can do for you down there for $1.25?
My name is Art Sunday. The Underground Horror Fest, the Underground Horror Film Fest, and I help my wife run Dig It. It's a store in Oklahoma City. Well, you know, a lot has happened. Of course, every year we try to expand the show, and so the show was very successful this year, and so the next Underground Monster Carnival 4 will be March 7th, 2015. So really, it seems like it's far away, but just like last time, you talk about it, and then 3 or 4 months later, it's like it happens. And so we're looking for more things. Like this year, we expanded on a lot of the exhibits, and of course, there were a few more vendors. But there'll still be a lot of arts and crafts, you know, and there'll be a lot of artists and a lot of up-and-coming writers, because that's really the focus of the show, is try to support the underground of people that are trying to get their stuff out.
Sure.
Well, you know, with the last show, of course, we always have costume contests, but this year we did the Underground Monster Fashion Show, and so with the fashion show, so that we could spotlight different artists. The artists would come in, they spent most of the day working on their different subjects, and they produced like the Wolfman and Medusa, and then, you know, several other, you know, different characters. But it was allowing people to come up and be able to like actually see how they do special effects and see it from a real life point of view, instead of just seeing someone that shows up at the show and the makeup's already on. You know, we always try to be themed with monsters, but the show really has a lot of sci-fi, it has a lot of horror, and it also has, you know, various things like steampunk and even furries this year. There was a lot of kids that were dressed up in their little foxes and, you know, all their different kinds of costumes, which was really cool, you know, and we now, of course, the video games are becoming much more prevalent, so we had kids dressed as Minecraft and people dressed as video game characters. So that, I think that was the biggest difference to me, was the costumes are always good, but people are stepping up each year and putting more into their costumes than ever before. My wife works with me very hard on this show, and she introduced the first, you know, the bags to give away the first 50 bags to the first 50 people, and we're really thinking about doing 100. The first 100 people that enter, and we were pretty lucky actually, because the gift bags are really full of a lot of stuff, and I'll let Steph explain that, where a lot of the things came from.
My name is Stephanie Sunday, and I run a store called Dig It with Art Sunday, my hubby. And in addition, I'm an artist, mostly Day of the Dead work and but other stuff too. It's under the name of Atomic Kudzu. And I also help Art out with the show, Underground Monster Carnival. I sort of do the administrative duties and you know, of course every woman would like to say she's the muse behind it all, but that's how I met Art, was doing his shows. And the great thing I love about Underground Monster Carnival is the name itself, Underground, because by choosing that name you can't really go to become one of those big Walmart conventions, which I actually don't enjoy going to, even though I love to meet famous people and stuff. It's not what I'm into. I like to go to events where I get to see new artwork and talk to emerging filmmakers and emerging writers.
Stuff in there, more people get in the way.
Hola, ¿dónde está? Hola, ¿dónde está el baño?
El baño, outside.
Gracias.
When you have 8-year-old kids and they're getting to wear their little zombie suits and they're having a good time, I don't think that kid really cares about, you know, many big things that are going on at other conventions. He just wants to go somewhere where he can dress up and be with his mom and his dad and his brother. We had families of, what, 11?
Yeah, there was an 11 and a 9.
And a 9. I mean, so just imagine a family with 11 people showed up to my Monster Carnival and they paid to get in. I mean, imagine that same family having to go to a convention that's $40 per person. You know, I mean, there's not a lot of families willing to drop, you know, that kind of money to be able for all of them to go. And so that's my main focus. And just like in our store, we have a lot of young people and we want to introduce the young people to, hey, this is an artist that's from Enid, or this is an artist from Bethany, or this is an artist from Claremore, you know, but they're these people from Oklahoma. And I think that without local involvement or truly supporting local, we definitely wouldn't have Dig It. You know, we definitely wouldn't have the Underground Monster Carnival. And so, so together we keep each other straight, you know, and on that path of. Well, you know, Count Gregor actually, or John Ferguson actually said to me, he goes, you know, Art, I really appreciate you putting my picture on your flyers, because you really respect me for everything that I've done, and it means a lot, because the thing is, it's like he's lived in our state for a long time and did a lot of stuff in our state, and so to me it's like I said, like, you know, basically at the last interview I was kind of like, you know, how can you not respect John Ferguson? Like, if you do a show that has horror or sci-fi, that, well, I put a person that is not from the state on your flyer. Because I even told him, I mean, I had a guy at my show this year who had won Grammy Awards, and he even respected the fact that I would put Count Gregor first and foremost on the flyers than him, because, you know, he went off and has done some stuff. I mean, to win Grammys, you know, done a lot of stuff. I think his band sold 4 million records, Evanescence, but he came to the show as an artist, and he respects artists, and he respects everybody, but he knows to respect Count Gregor, because Count Gregor, if any of us are lucky at 80, 85 years old to be able to be a star of a convention, then that would be amazing. Important, because these young kids that come to these shows need to realize that I want to get into horror, and if I'm lucky enough to be like Count Gregor, I could have a career that spanned to 85 years old. And I don't want to give him an unfair example of, like, this guy's a flash in the pan right now, he's really big, but in 2 years he may not be anybody. But Count Gregor has proven time after time that he can do it. And so I've told Count Gregor every year that he wants to do the show, he can, and every year he'll be the top star no matter who I have at the show, because to me he is that top star. I mean, I don't think there's a person in Oklahoma that would deny Count Gregor of that. But also, too, the respect of a lot of people showing up to see him every year, and they come to his table and he sells out lots of autographs, and he sells his movies, and he sells everything, and he's always so happy because he realizes that I recognize this, you know. And I think, like, for people that don't recognize that, that's their fault, because when you have even big celebrity shows from it's not my choice, you know, but that's just how some people like to do it. It's because some people forget, you know, and I don't want people to forget about Count Gregor. Well, I think Felix is trying to make money off of it, really, because he's backstabber and killed a bunch of people back in Nam, and he suffers from a lot of dementia. No, actually, I'm really excited because Felix is one of my favorite artists, and because, you know, Felix is one of those people who started off on the streets and started off, also plays music like I started off playing music, and so he's been around a long time with his artwork, and he likes to do pop culture and pop art, which is I like to do pop art, and I think it's cool because you do live in an area where a lot of people, if they do abstract, they're considered artists, where other groups don't consider that art. And I think that what he does is unique because he's not afraid to take and paint a giant portrait and put a lot of work into it to celebrate, say, me and Dennis and Count and everybody else, you know, that may be in it. Because when I first met Felix, we'd only been friends for a short time, and he had painted a painting that had everybody from Anjanette to Tate to Craig, and these are all people that went to our early shows together. We were all good friends and had done shows together, and it's just, Felix is that person that recognizes, you know, there's a family in this, and I want to be able to make that, I want to show proof that the family existed, so I want to actually paint it into it. I mean, I'm getting painted with Count Gregor, and we're both respected because Felix paints Nightmare Before Christmas and Norman Reedus and all these famous people, and he's not afraid to put us in one of his paintings. So I think that's probably the coolest thing about it, is because it is really neat that even though he lives in New Orleans and he's been away, he always remembers his people, you know, because Underground Monster Carnival, really the slogan is it's family, you know, come hang out with a bunch of people that will become your friends, if not, and they'll become family. And it's not about, oh my gosh, let's go to a show and we have to pay for all these different passes to go meet or hang out in a different room. I mean, you pay to get in and you get you're as equal as anybody in the building. All the vendors have badges, but it doesn't mean they go anywhere different than you get to go. They just get to sit behind a table.
What's going on, fans? We're here, we're at Lathel's. I messed it up, god damn it.
Man, go ahead.
Welcome, folks. And we're Lethal Snatch. I'd like to introduce everybody. Thing I'd like to say, don't get up on the fucking stage!
That concludes tonight's interview.
Yay!